How to get good aim in Valorant is probably the most searched term within the community, as it's such an important factor when wanting to rank up. You look at the top level players and see their clean and precise aim, and it raises the question, what makes Radiant level aim? To understand what makes top quality aim, I have broken aiming down into two different categories, which is in-game mechanics and raw mechanics. Breaking aiming down into two categories should help us easily understand what goes into pro players' aim that makes it so good. By the end of this video, you'll have an in-depth understanding of what and how to get Radiant level aim. First of all, I want to talk about the in-game mechanics of aiming. I have split the in-game mechanics into three different categories: movement, crosshair placement, and discipline. You may have heard some of these before, but I'm going to break all of these mechanics down into a lot of depth and explain them in the simplest way possible. Counter-strafing is a key fundamental you must learn in Valorant in order for you to progress further into the ranks. Simply, counter-strafing is where you move left or right and shoot in between the movements. When you see an enemy, you need to choose whether to strafe left or right in order to help your aim. Using movement to help aim can be situational, and so you won't be able to do it in every fight. Just make sure you're constantly strafing during fights, and you will need to track the enemy if you can't use your movement. Here's a clip from Fnatic Leo to show you how powerful this mechanic is when you have mastered it.
That counter strafe.
The timings of your counter strafes are very important. If you shoot too early, then your bullets will be inaccurate. Therefore, you must stay calm while counter strafing to allow for more consistent strafes. It can be quite hard to tell if you're getting the timings correct or not. Therefore, a setting called shooting error tells you whether you have shot while moving or not. You can use this setting to check how consistent your timings are during a game. Sometimes when you're practicing during the range and death matches, your counter strafes will be completely fine. But in ranked games, there's a lot more pressure which could cause you to rush your counter strafes. Now you know the importance of counter strafing, I want to demonstrate a bad habit lots of you do. It's where you're clearing angles with a diagonal sprint instead of just using A and D. Get into the habit of using A and D instead of using W, and you'll find that peeking will become lots more comfortable for you. Look how I'm clearing this site on Haven. Clearing using A and D, diagonal sprint further into the site so I can use A and D again to clear the next angle. Go into a deathmatch and start to get into the habit of doing this. If you get caught with a diagonal sprint, then you should let go of W straight away and strafe in the direction yours going, or you could just crouch spray depending on your situation. Another movement mechanic which isn't used a lot in lower ranks is shoulder peeking. Before peeking a corner, you can do small left to right movements to get information on a player. If you see a player, you can use that information to line up your crosshair on the position you last saw them and peek with a massive advantage in that fight. Don't forget, when peeking, you can use movement to help correct your aim, similar to counter strafing. You will find most success when wide swinging, as it allows for enough space to line up your crosshair. Crosshair placement is talked so much throughout the Valorant community, so I won't dwell on this topic for too long. I just want to show you what my crosshair placement looks like when clearing a site. As you can see, I have my crosshair clearing all the space and making sure every angle is cleared, and also I'm adjusting my crosshair to any elevation. Make sure you're preparing your crosshair placement before you swing. It's important to not rush crosshair placement and clear everything properly. To be disciplined in Valorant, you have to stay calm when taking your fights. Instead of shooting as soon as you see someone, try to calm it down, track the enemy and only shoot when you think you're on the target. This will make it much easier for you, as it will result in less recoil and give you more time to use other mechanics like movement to help you aim. Once you become faster at these mechanics, then you'll start to see that crisp radiant aim that you see when watching higher level players. Before we move on, I quickly want to talk about the bad habit of crouch spraying. You need to stop this habit fast if you're wanting to see any real improvement. Please jump into a deathmatch, and during your rank games, consciously tell yourself to not crouch spray, especially when taking a long range fight. Crouch spraying isn't always bad, but I would only use it if I got caught off guard and it's a close range fight, as you can kinda use it as a panic button. People don't practice recoil control as much in modern day Valorant, as you should be strafing instead. However, you always crouch spray at least once during a match, so practicing recoil control, in my opinion, is as important as everything else. Your raw aim fundamentals will have a big say on how good your aim is and how fast you'll be able to learn all these mechanics. Aim training, sensitivity, mouse grip, posture, and experience playing other shooter games will have a massive effect on your core aim. I wouldn't actually recommend people to aim train, as your in-game mechanics are as important as your raw aim mechanics. So if you're wanting to use your time efficiently, then I would play deathmatches, as it would train both mechanics. And you also want to make sure that you're on a comfortable sensitivity, so that it's not holding back your core aim. I would spend a lot of time on finding a right sense for you, as it's a very important topic, especially when you're new to Valorant. So to have consistent radiant aim, you have to have both raw and in-game fundamentals mastered, as explained in this video. Once you have all the mechanics learned, it's only a matter of time until you master them and implement them into your ranked games. If you want to learn how to play like ladiff, who is a world-class player that dominates the Valorant pro scene, then click here. If not, it's been your boy Critical. Peace out.